but I want to do pro shows. I just think it's such a fantastic way. The stage and all that stuff is great. For people who know me, they know I love being on stage. I'm like, some people are nervous to go on stage. I'm like, put me in front of the lights.
What is the key to longevity for Shaun T?
Paying attention to myself and like again, paying attention to myself. Obviously, I'm very authentic in what I do, and like I said, I only do things that I only put things out there that I'm actually going through because I think it's really important for people to understand the authenticity. And I can speak to I can speak to the motivation you need to actually do these things if I'm doing it. Um, that's I'm going to put that there for a second. But I just know for a fact that the more I evolve and the older I get, there's so many new things that, show themselves. Like, will I still do an insanity workout? Absolutely. But, I focus on bodybuilding. I focus on lifting weights. I'm focusing on getting stronger because I may have said this before, I may have not. People have heard me say a lot of times, muscle is the fountain of youth. I have two, I have 6-year-old twins, that are wild. I got to keep up with them. It's all encompassing for me. And so I use my personal life, my fitness life, my mental health, and my love to help people transform to, to continue to evolve because I just think it's really important for me to speak to things that, I actually have experienced.
You rather know the streaming the streaming version of fitness as opposed to the DVD version?
Yeah, I mean, it's great for it's 80% of it is great. It's like you have fitness at your fingertips. You know what I'm saying? Like there's literally no excuse where people can't find a way to work out. I mean, you have people who talk you through running outside, which costs nothing except for maybe downloading this app, right? And they even have free things like that. You can hire someone and they send you a nutrition plan or a workout plan. You can go to the gym. It's all laid out for you. So within that respect, when it comes to streaming, my workouts are streaming literally on your phone is great. The negative side, I think the 20% negative side is because we can get fitness at our fingertips. We can order food, clothes. You can do a lot. You can order a lot on your phone. People want the results faster. And that's where the problem starts to surface because also, with social media, oftentimes, and my infomercials did really well, partly because of this. You see the before and after, right? So people are seeing these results. They get to see a person who lost 100 pounds in a minute of a Instagram post, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I can do that!" Not really realizing like that person probably worked for 700 days to lose that weight. So it's obviously really, really great. And I think people should use it, but they should also be realistic in saying, you know what? When it comes to fitness, time is my best friend. Even just building muscle, it takes so long to build muscle. It just takes a long time. And so people want the results so fast that they don't actually realize like, oh, I should actually like embrace this moment because I was stronger than I was, a month ago or 10 weeks ago. And so while I think all the streaming things and fitness at your fingertips are really great, I just want people to say also, you know what? You know what else is really great? Like if you plan on living to be hopefully 90 years old, you got all this time to continue to change your body. And so don't try to just make it happen so fast, which is also why I know people want to look great at their wedding and they want to lose weight and it's so awesome. But if you take 6 months to try to fit into your wedding tuxedo or your wedding dress or whatever it is, you can continue on. Like use it as a platform and a stepping stone for you to continue to push forward instead of being like, all right, got to the wedding, I look so good. Now I'm just going to chill and gain the weight. I'm like, you just put all that work in, like utilize that momentum to continue on. So I'll get off my soapbox right there when it comes to, time being your best friend when it comes to fitness. But I just, situational exercise is one of those other things that really bother me. Even though I know people want to look good at the beach and look good for the summer. I'm like, great, do it. But don't give up on it just because that event has already taken
Right
place.
there to stress and training and mental health. How do they all combine? How much?
You know, I have these tattoos on my arm: conquer your mind, transform your life. It's always been a part of my fitness. I've never necessarily, until now, because I compete, but I've never really necessarily been just about the physical changes, because you can meet people who are, extremely ripped or muscular. They look really good, but they're also like mentally not stable. They still want more. Like, there's often times where people who are really fit are never really happy with how fit they are. And I was one of those people. I would be like, "Oh my gosh, like I look like this," and I would look at a picture from 6 months ago, and I was like, "Why was I stressed about that?" I was like, "I'm stressed about that picture, but I look really good." And so we, as fitness professionals, and people who just are fitness goers, we get into this cycle of wanting to look better, look better, look better, and we never settle into what I like to call the power of now, being like, yo, like I actually do look really good. So my whole method is to get people to accept and be happy where they are right now, especially in the beginning, because that person you are, that takes that first step. Let's take somebody who's like 150 pounds overweight. They barely walk 10 minutes on a treadmill. I'm like, this is the strongest person, because they have to mentally push themselves through the physical pain. They don't have the muscle definition or strength that they have, but they still keep pushing every single day. And I'm like, if we can build on that in the beginning, by the time you get to the point where you are physically tough and you are physically strong, and you combine that with mentally being tough and mentally being strong, it's the perfect combination for you to just be healthy overall when it comes to your mental and physical fitness.
Now, when you said you had some stress as a trainer, as well, an icon in the industry, is it easier to prescribe and diagnose other people's, I guess, stresses and, I don't say, lack of a better word, problems, but to get them on the road to health and not manage your own as well?
Not for me, because I'm a big, I mean, I've been going to therapy since I was 26 years old, like, meaning like I actually go to a therapist for my headspace. And so I actually, if people really pay attention to my workouts, especially Asylum, Insanity, Max 30, like those workouts, the words that are coming out of my mouth are the thing. It's literally the soundtrack of my mind. Like, they are the things that I tell myself to keep pushing forward, and things that I've learned about myself and things that I needed to do because I went to therapy. And I'm open to the fact that I need to have that mental strength to continue on the push to be ready to change. And so, naturally, for most people, it is easy to be like, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to think about this, like you can do it, and you prescribe it, but you're going through the same thing. Naturally, for most people, it's easier to look on the outside and say, "Hey, you need to do this." But I made a very, very conscious effort to. I'm one. I'll put it like this: I'm never going to tell you to do something that I wouldn't do, and that's literally my motto when it comes to, like, if I've never done it. One, I may be able to guide you to it, but I would never be like, "Oh my gosh, you need to do this," because I've never done it before. So, especially when it comes to mental fitness, mental health, I can speak to that. Like, I've actually mentored people to better physical fitness, to better mental health without even having to do a push-up, because it's really trying to find that blockage that you have. And that blockage that you have is usually the reason that you're unable to commit. Because I walk down the street or in the airport, and people say, "What's the secret?" Just because I have a tank top on, I got little arms or whatever. And people would be like, "What's the secret?" I'm like, consistency. There's no secret that you can't Google, but the secret of consistency, like actually like digesting that and living in that consistent space, and almost in a way leaving yourself wanting to do more instead of telling yourself I'm not doing enough. Like, you crave, people start out, for instance, in a new year, they say, "I'm going to the gym now." They go to the gym for 5 days. Next week, they don't go back because they're so tired. They've depleted themselves. And I'm like, people say, "What should I do?" I'm like, go 3 days a week for a month. Just like, I know you want to go every day, but just go 3 days a week. You know what I mean? Like you will start to feel like I have a day off. Oh, I want that again. I have a day off. And then usually for most people that do that, the second month that they start, they're like, oh, I'm going 4 days a week. And before you know it, they love fitness and it's not a chore place.
Mhm. Well, is it hard to get that, I guess, to embed that 1% better every day mentality towards people
I
now? Or-
mean, that's why I have like dig deeper because for me, my dig deeper workout, I have a Facebook group called Dig Deeper Nation, largest fitness group on Facebook. So, because for me, that's what it's about. It's about just digging deep every day. Like push yourself to where you can go. Don't compare yourself to other people because the 1% better every day, people might want to get on a scale and be like, oh, I'm like an ounce lighter, And I don't like to celebrate the loss of something. I like to celebrate the gain of something. So if you dig deeper, you're gaining that mental strength, that physical strength, and that internal motivation to want to push forward. And so 1% better every day doesn't necessarily mean you lost weight this week. 1% better every day is just like, I committed to it. I pushed as hard as I can. I gave the best that I could give. And as long as you're staying consistent with that, you are doing better every day.
Well, how has your fitness, I guess, programming changed from 2007 to Dig Deeper? Is it the same philosophy, or is it just different workouts, or is it something completely different over the years?
No, it definitely has changed. You know, I'm also I have many types of workouts, So I have like hit training. I did have Asylum, which was a sports conditioning workout that did use a lot of weight training, but it was definitely like cardio, like hit training heavy as well, and agility. And I have dance workouts because I was a professional dancer. Um, so I think it's been ever evolving, but the through line is you're still going to get Shaun T. You're still going to get that push that I have. So, but I think when it comes to current day and bodybuilding per se, for me, it's like slow down. Like I want people to slow down in my dig deeper workout. It's literally like I'm teaching you the anatomy 101 of how your muscles are working because a lot of weight training workouts out there is just like, hey, do a bench press. Yeah, you do it like this, but they don't really emphasize like the stretch of the muscle, the contraction before you even push the weight. Like those kind of things is the thing that I evolved from, and it all changed because my shoulder was injured, and I was like, I need to learn all about this. And once I started learning all about that, then I really applied. I have a degree in sports science, so it's not anything I didn't know. But home fitness, a lot of times, was at the end of the day, home fitness is keeping people's attention, being able to engage with the people at home. And so it's really fun to now do that in a strength building format.
Has that changed since 2007? Just the home gym type of mentality. Where back in the day, there may have been a dumbbell, a band, or just very limited equipment. Now you have everything in your bedroom or in your living room.
Yeah, I mean, I think has it changed? I don't know. I think there are many people who've always had weights and stuff in their house. I honestly think that the biggest transition when it came to like minimal at home equipment to maximum at home equipment was the pandemic. People were home. They're like, they couldn't go to a gym. They started ordering weights. People order squat bars and benches and balls and, different kind of rumble rollers and like, people just started to do that. And while it was really good for home fitness, in that stint of whatever 18 months that we were kind of like in that weird place, not being able to actually go to a gym, people now have that stuff in their home or they're like open to getting it because the pandemic kind of made your mindset shift to, all right, I have to work out at home. But you know, at the end of the day, there are a millions of people who just don't want to go to the gym. Maybe they're a mom or dad that has minimal time, and so at home workouts are great for many different types of people. They're help if you're short on time, if you're just busy, if you're not confident, if you have social anxiety. So there's so many different things that home fitness is really good for, and those people stick with it. I know people who do both. They work out at home and they go to the gym. And then I know people that's like, I could never work out at home. They only go to group classes, but they hate gyms. And then I know people that only want to go to the gym and lift weights. So I don't necessarily think there was a change. I just think that it just comes down to like generational. I mean, those people who worked out at home, I have fans that range from teenagers to now like 70 years old because 20 years ago they were doing my workout, or 15, 18 years ago. So, um, and the reason why I answer that question like that is because it's so individual and it's so personalized, It's like, if working out at home keeps you fit and keeps you healthy and keeps you on track, do it. If going to the gym at 4 p.m. when it's crowded as hell keeps you motivated because you want to be around people, go do it. Because at the end of the day, it's really about what is that thing that's going to make you stay committed to whatever the journey is that you want to have.
Well, how satisfying is that for you, saying that someone who bought your DVD back in 2007 is still with you today in 2024?
It's really spectacular. I think it's a testament to, number one, like their commitment, but it's also a testament. And, I positively, selfishly am really happy with the things that I've created. I mean, I can't even tell you how many workout, millions of DVDs, and now millions of streams. And so, but I've always been like, I create this. Like, we already know I can do it because I'm the leader. So I really applaud the people who are actually doing it, because they're the ones that have to do it. And I don't, minus my dance workouts, like I don't create easy workouts necessarily, So if they stuck with me for a really long time, I'm giving them mad props.
So what's the process behind then creating a workout program? How many workouts do you run? Do you try, test run, say, no, I don't like this one, and then finally get it right? How does that work?
um it's pretty interesting, actually. I'll take you back to Insanity because it was like so long ago, and it was freaking crazy. Um, you first have to come up like, what method of fitness do I want to use, right? Like for me, Insanity, I was just like, I want to get people at home to feel like how I felt on the track after a workout where I did 400 meters with like a minute and 15-second rest. And my coach was like, you have to get it in under 60 seconds, right? I'm like, if I can get people to feel this way. So then I started taking exercise that I did to warm up. Then I started taking, basic fitness, I should say gym class, phys ed class moves like jumping jacks, high knees, the suicide sprints that you do on the basketball court. And then I'm a creative, I'm a dancer. So I started creating other different types of push-ups and planks and core moves that you can do on the ground, a way to work your triceps. And so what I do is I go into a room, I create a workout. I test it on people that I know, all different ages, shapes and sizes, different fitness levels. And then I just start pulling stuff, putting stuff in. And then eventually, when you get a library of exercises, then I start to create, this workout is going to be more plyometric. This workout is going to be more, cardio based. This workout is going to be more strength based. This workout is going to be more like a power yoga type recovery. So that's kind of how the process goes. And then once I get those workouts done, then I have to you put them on paper, and then you get a test group, and you get a test group from anywhere from 30 to 60 people, and you take them through the workout. You give them a nutrition plan. They test it. You get testimonials, and you start to create the infomercial. This is how we used to do it. Start to create the infomercial. Then, I go and I take a bunch of pictures, and I do interviews, and I work with my team to get the understanding and the science behind it. Then we create a nutrition program and a book. And so it's just like very, very layered. And then once all of that, and then we shoot the workouts. So then we shoot the workouts. We cast the workouts, and we shoot the workouts. Sometimes you have to shoot them twice. Oftentimes you would have to double up because of like something happened on set, so you had to do 2 workouts a day or 2.5 workouts a day. You're like, fuck, but you train really hard to do it. And then so once all that's done, everything is edited, packaged together, then we shoot the infomercial. We shoot the infomercial. Um, and then you cross your fingers in hopes that people at home are motivated by what it is that you did. And it's great because Insanity was like, it hit the #1 infomercial, I think, like 7 years in a row, which is really good. And then once we went to more streaming and infomercials left, we kept the same method, but we just put everything online. So people can go to my Dig Deeper workout, my new workout. They can get the workout, they'll get nutrition, they'll get the tips, they'll get all of the same stuff that I just described. Like we had a test group, except we do it virtually. You see people's weight loss, you see the results, but it's just like 3 months. So now I'm working on a big group, my group, that I'm putting them through for 6 months. So you can see like what happens when it comes to longevity and fitness. That's the great thing about virtual now. Before, like when I was talking about the Insanity, we would go to a studio. It was like everyone was in the same place, but now you can do anything virtually. You can have people all over the world testing out the workouts and getting the results and sending them food. So, but yeah, the process is long and intense, and but I've learned to kind of just like mind my business and just show up. And I have a great team. Like my team is literally A+. Like I just have great people. I've been lucky enough to have really great people because I'm a creative person and I'm a mover. Like I'm not like this sitting at the computer thing is not my thing. You know what I mean? But like I love being on camera. I love motivating. I love pushing I love the sweat. I love the activity part of it all. And I just happen to have a really good brain, but I don't like writing shit down. Like I'm like, y'all can help me with that part, and we all fuse together and just create something great.
So what's a day in the life of Shaun T like? Is it 24
Day in the
hours
life of
business or?
Shaun T. So I wake up at 5:45. I take about 15 minutes to find my life. I go and I wake up my twin boys. They're awake. They've learned that Papa's going to come in and play some song that they probably absolutely hate. So I go in there, I wake my kids up.
What's
I
the song
spend
gonna be? What's the song? What's the
Well, now I'd learned that like me playing my music, like people probably think this is really bad, but when I walk in and play Nicki Minaj in the morning, they're like, "What are you doing?" you know, I put the clean version on for them, but but now they listen to music, so now I've learned that if I play their music, they actually wake up, like they get excited, and they love like Lanky Box. I don't know, it's like kid stuff, so I wake them up. I spend the first hour with them, and my husband and I like get them. My husband does all like this stuff of their lunch boxes and making sure they have everything in their bag. And I'm just like the parent that loves to play with them. We do trivia. I just spend a really great time with them in the morning. I'm also eating my first meal of 6. The kids go to school. I go to the gym for, depending on where I'm at in my fitness, in my competition stage. Usually I'm at the gym for an hour, well, 2 hours, because my workout's an hour and a half and my cardio is usually like 30 minutes. Then I leave the gym, I eat my second meal, and then I do things like this. I try to keep my work day to 4 hours so I don't burn myself out. And then at 5 o'clock, we have a hard rule for the most part. At 5 o'clock, we stop working. You know, the boys and the family, we just like kick it and we just keep eating. You just eat and eat and eat all the food we need to eat. I have a busy life, and I have meetings and I know people and whatever, but it's pretty simple. I love social media. Uh, I don't follow all the social media rules. Like, they're like, if you do this, you do this, and you get a lot of likes. I'm like, I post whatever the hell I want. I'm like, this is my life. I want to look back. If Instagram or whatever is still around when I'm 60, I want to be able to look back and see a diary of my life, not like that I follow trends. Now, that's not to shade people. I'm like, if you have a niche and that's making you money and that's your source of income and you're passionate about it, by all means go for it. But I like social media because I'm just me, and I love getting followed and I love getting unfollowed because I'm just like, this is who I am. If we can't hang out in person, and don't follow me on social media. Um, and I mean, I have a lot of other stuff that I do during the day, but it's just like kind of arduous and a lot. But like I said, I never want to negate, like I have a really great team of people, like from my nannies to my assistants in marketing and like the people like apparel. Like I have really great people that, they fire my brain, I fire it back, and they make shit happen. And it's really, really great.
Now, is it true you're coming out with an underwear brand at the end of this year?
I've already come out with an underwear brand. It's called T-Bone Threads. It's for men only. It's just like you'll see it if you go to tbonethreads.com.
What's harder? What's harder, being a creative designer or for a gym or a workout creator?
None of it's hard. None of it. It's off. You know, I love making money. Obviously, we all want to make money, but I only make money doing things that I like absolutely love, And so, right now I have like a couple new business ventures coming along and like things are progressing because while my fitness is not taking off, like I'm coming into a transition in my life when it comes to where I want to go with my fitness and my career and what I want to add to it. And, just kind of like I saw this post, this video the other day, I believe it was on Instagram, and they gave like a list of all of these, I would say just well-known people, some celebrities, I think it was like maybe a singer, a chef, authors, and all these people that, really became successful and well-known in 40s and 50s and 60s. And so I spent the last 25 years of my life in fitness, which is not going away. But, and then I started going to therapy 2 years ago. I'm a dad, I'm getting older in a good way. I'm like, what do I want to do? How do I want to progress my fitness or business and business ventures? So I actually went to therapy for that. My therapist is a sports psychologist, and it's been really, really great to help me just kind of progress forward and trust myself and what it is that I want to do. And I'm doing things that I never thought I would do, because it's just like the evolution of my internal self. And I think I answered your question, but it's great.
Where's the bodybuilding career going to go after this?
Man, listen, it's going to keep going. I love it. I think it's so great. Even if, I'm going to compete again, hoping to get my pro card. That's the goal, to get my pro card in July. Depends on who shows up to the competition, but I'm ready. And then but I want to do pro shows. I just think it's such a fantastic way. The stage and all that stuff is great. For people who know me, they know I love being on stage. I'm like, some people are nervous to go on stage. I'm like, put me in front of the lights. But it's actually like the fun part is the fitness aspect of it, going to the gym, meeting people, seeing what they want, talking to people out in the fitness field, because that actually helps me design and develop. And, I have a great trainer, I have a great bodybuilding coach. You dive a little bit more into fitness and nutrition. And, you know, obviously I'm doing it because I want to win. Like I love competing. I love competing in anything. I'm very competitive. But it's also just like a really great way to expand my fitness footprint for, home fitness is the majority of home fitness goers, if you will, are women. And so, bodybuilding has really opened the door up to like a male audience that was never really like the dominant audience of mine. But, it's really cool because I have all these amazing women that, I'm able to speak to too, because my trainer is a woman. And so it's just a really cool, I say it's a cool story, but it's also a really cool road to go down because you're really bringing in all of these different like thoughts and methods of fitness and the conversations that I have with my coach and nutrition and everything and supplements. It's just really, really great. So I think to sum that up, and I think everyone should do this. I really do. I'm not want to be like, you should do this, but I think everyone should just continue to be a student no matter how great you are at something. Like, as people come up to me, they, oh, you don't need to do that because you're Shaun T. I'm like, no, I didn't become Shaun T by just like stopping learning, you know? And it's just like when someone walks up to you as a fitness professional and they're like, oh, you can eat whatever you want. I'm like, so you think I got here by eating whatever I wanted? Like, usually if I'm at this point, I'm definitely not eating whatever I want because, there's a way to get your body to look like this. And oftentimes it's obviously fitness and weightlifting, but it's oftentimes the nutrition aspect of it too. So it's just like, helping people through that, changing mindsets and, continuing to dig deeper.
Yeah. Hey, last question I do have, just does your dancing background help you out on the posing routine?
Oh my goodness. Absolutely. Absolutely. So when I was told I was going to do classic physique, the first thing that they said was like, you have a posing routine like to music. And so I just kind of started just looking it up and I saw people posing and it was like really great. And I'm like, I can't do that. Like, not can't do that. Like, I'm not able to do that. I'm very well capable of posing how the most people pose. But I'm like, I'm a dancer. So, my posing routine is very, I don't want to say dancey in a sense of like dancey, but it's very choreographed to the beat, to the rhythms, to like it's very syncopated and musicality is in place. And I just like, I mean, that's one of the things I love about it the most, to be quite honest, on show day, if you will.
Who do you pose? Is it Nicki Minaj on
No, believe it or not, and I'm not like an extremely religious person at all, but my first posing routine I did to this song Oceans. It's a gospel song, and I had my DJ like add all these hits and like some beats in there. Because I wanted it to be moving and powerful, but I didn't want to come in there with, people know me as like a hip hop funk kind of dancer. And I felt like if I went into my first show with that, it just wouldn't respect the sport, if you will. So I wanted to pick a song that I can move to and have my style and personality, but also really pose and show the posing and show my body and show the anatomy, which is, the point of having a posing routine. But the next one, I might add about 10 seconds of a little something.